The Dialogue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of the Tech for Good series, which is also known as a podcast. So, a few of my millennial friends have informed me that that's a new term in popular culture. So, video series is out of picture and podcast it is. So, that's what we will be calling it from now onwards. And we have today a very senior and a very special guest to me as well, Miss Arpita Mukherjee. She works with ICRIER, and ICRIER is India's leading economic policy think tank. She is a professor at ICRIER, and she has over 20 years of experience in policy-oriented research, working closely with the government in India and policymakers in the European Commission and its member states, US, ASEAN, and in East Asian countries. Arpita has worked with various multilateral organizations like ADB, UN, and various bilateral governments such as the Foreign Office, the UK government, the US government, Italian government. So she has a wide range of multilateral organizations and governments as well. Pita, thank you so much for gracing this interview with your presence. And we are really glad to talk to you. And I think you're the first economist we are interacting with to really understand the economic impact of the lockdown and what needs to be done, because I think now we are moving towards the second lockdown. We're pretty much in the second lockdown, and we have, I think, 2 weeks to go before 3rd May. So it's very appropriate to sort of understand what can be done and how should the lockdown be lifted and what are the sort of challenges which the economy will also be facing. So thank you so much, Arpita, for talking to us. So I would like to start with my first question to you, Arpita, which is around the decision by the Home Ministry on Sunday to reverse the order around allowing or excluding non-essential items from the e-commerce supply chain. And I think that has sent some messages into the ecosystem that, the government is sort of not sure what they're doing, but maybe there are certain other reasons which they're trying to justify that with. But nevertheless, it will have an impact on the economy. I think a lot of the people were looking forward towards allowing non-essential items through the e-commerce route. We need to sort of partially open the economy. There are talks going on. I mean, Germany is looking to do that. Trump really wants to do it, but I don't think he can, looking at what the US is facing. But there are countries which are talking about partial opening of economy. And I think opening of non-essential items, with the heat coming in, there are requirements at various levels. You need stationery, you need electrical appliances. People need to sort of go about living their lives as well, right? So tell us, what's your take on that and what can be done to sort of ease this process?
Thank you for inviting me to speak in your forum, and that's kind of, I'm very honored about it. Now, the first point is that there is no well-defined concept of a non-essential commodity. What is non-essential? How can, in a democracy, there are other issues. How can, in a democracy, government decide what is essential for somebody and what is non-essential? Okay, so this is kind of a gray area. Now, regarding what we need to emphasize. Are we trying to emphasize that, you are back to normal? No, we are not back to normal. But given said that, there may be certain requirements which are very critical. Like, for example, today I may require a washing machine, which I think is very critical because I may require a lot of equipment, which I think is very critical. And it is also critical for the Indian industry to keep on doing businesses. Like, manufacturing and other businesses should run. At what speed they should run, where they should run, is a matter of great debate and discussion. But, if you say, okay, run power looms as a part of your commitment and say, stop getting any textiles to make a mask at home. I think somewhere we are missing, what we want. While we were telling people to make their mask at home, we are stopping their access to textiles and clothing, saying that these are non-essential, right? So therefore, we need to think what is essential and what is non-essential. Logically speaking, the problem is not between what e-commerce can deliver and cannot deliver. There are two issues here. One is that what you allow in e-commerce and you are not allowing in your local kirana. Because shopping mall is closed and nobody is arguing about shopping malls. So if you now say that you can allow a dress to come through your kirana, then your small retailers will create a havoc, and that is where the government is scared about. Secondly, if you are allowing food to come to your doorstep, suppose the same Amazon guy who brings food will also bring your clothing. So if the food by him is safe and clothing by him is unsafe, that is illogical. So, one needs to really think about how they want to manage this concept of being essential and non-essential.
Arpita, there have been a lot of discussions going around the fact that, offline traders and online traders should get the same treatment. And, because offline traders are not able to sell the goods, so, we should not allow it on the online route. But at the same time, those traders, a lot of offline traders are already online as well. So if they are getting an opportunity to find a route towards which they can sell their commodities, which can help their economic survival, then why not?
See, it is a problem. See, what will happen is that when the offline trading community is actually very disaggregated, the poor retailers are when you talk about the unorganized retailers, they are actually very fragmented in their lobby. The lobby goes in a way that, you do not have to allow e-commerce company. It is not in a way that, if a grocery store is able to deliver to my house, why can't a laundry deliver to my house? Okay, because
Right.
that is also an essential service, right? So therefore, their lobbying is very weak in the context of India, and consumer interests are very weak. So given
Right.
these two situations, the thing that really happens is that we tend to focus on vested interest, and the vested interest today will say that okay, a platform can sell everything, and the small retailers cannot. More people go to a grocery store than they go to a laundry. So that argument, nobody is applying an argument to decide what to do. Having said that, I am more in favor of an online retailer delivering not really at your doorstep but at points, rather than everybody going to the market and crowding and buying vegetables, which is happening today in India. But that's more risky than a online delivery, as I see it in the TV and others. When you
Right.
should not be, you only go out of home when your options in home are limited. And today your retailers and everybody is going, actually they are online, but the online systems can be different. They can be telephonic call and delivery.
Right. Also, Arpita, do you think there has been some sort of miscoordination? Because I was reading that in Odisha and Maharashtra were already sort of going ahead with planning and getting the ecosystem sorted for non-essential items delivery, and then the notification comes and they sort of have to halt their position. So what do you think over there? I mean, can we have better coordination so that the center sort of, when it prepares an order or a notification, that is carried through and the interpretation is correct and they know what they are talking about, right?
Actually, if you go back, we need to really see whether our National Disaster Management Act is good enough to handle this kind of pandemic. And in this kind of pandemic, in a quasi-federal structure, what we are actually facing is similar things that US is also facing. Like,
Right.
what kind of decisions that is taken by the central government and how much of it is binding on the states, and how much states have the liberty to take their own decisions. Like West Bengal also opened a sweet shop. So, whether these decisions, no, this is a pandemic of a kind where, your epidemic act is like outdated. It is 18th century. Your National
Right.
Disaster Management Act doesn't cover it. In one fine day, you decided a lockdown. Okay, so you had to do it. Certain things you cannot say we have done it right or wrong, because we really did not know how to do it, because no country knew how to do it. Okay, and and maybe we are doing better than many of the developed countries. So we cannot
Absolutely.
really blame the government. And one of the problems that they are also facing is, like me and you, they are also working from home. So they are also working with limited resources on home. So given that all of this, where it is important is that even if the state takes a decision or center takes a decision, it is not important. The decisions when taken need to be, the quarantined areas need to be very clearly identified, quarantined, the areas which are green can open up. And when the green areas are opened up, there should be an absolute certainty that there is no mobility between a green area and a non-green area. In a country like India, it is extremely difficult to do. You have a porous state borders. Like, people don't cross only across the borders. They can cross through fields. So how do you actually maintain this is a real nightmare. And by nature, we also are not really the most obedient kinds. We are also getting frustrated and trying to do things here and there.
No, actually, that's a very valid point, and I just want to quiz you further on that. Is exactly what you said. Like, there could be clusters of red areas which might have a lot more potential for economic activity, but couldn't because, of course, the reasons which are obviously stated. So how do we ensure that those green areas will get all the requisite requirements met, all the demand of the residents and the people will be met, at the same time ensuring that, the population doesn't get mixed up, people don't sort of end up crossing the borders? I think implementing that with respect to the legislation we have, do you think there are certain requirements to sort of maybe come up with an ordinance or some sort of a program where you deploy sort of the administration in such a way that people are not really sort of pushed out of this and all the necessities are met? Because what we can also see is civil unrest. And I mean, there are chances that a lot of people might just get really fatigued about it. And I'm already seeing that on the roads, in the newspapers, you're talking to people. It's getting up to, the people are feeling the pain now.
See, each country is trying to handle the situation in a different way. Now, if you have a single Aadhaar number and it is linked to your phone number, you can easily generate a single ID and you have a proper resident proof, which you are needed. But these are kind of mandatory for your banking. You can actually give an essential pass or an ID system which operates. You don't need another app like Aarogya Setu app that needs to be linked to your existing infrastructure. So what is happening is that one of the things that is very clear, that we had collected a lot of information through the UID and other systems, but we haven't done our data analytics. Like, if we had done our data analytics better, we could have, identified, quarantined, used the technology to do so. And in future, we need to actually develop a more technology-oriented ways of doing work. And then there should be a significant amount of penalization. Now, if I am caught doing something which is as per the rule, I should not be penalized. If I am caught doing something which is incorrect, so if I take my car just to go around and see how Delhi is looking, now I should be penalized. And that is where, that is how the government needs to actually put in stuff, that this is how, if you are getting caught, you will be penalized. More than this many people from a similar household will not come. More than 2 days a week, you should not be out of your house. Also, there should be certain rules and regulations that I need to follow, even in the green area. Because now, if the green, we don't know how green is the green area, right? Because we haven't done the testings. So therefore, what we thought was that, not more than 10 to 15% should be opened up in the first week, even in the green areas. It should
so that's after 3rd May. After 3rd May, you mean?
No, not after 3rd May. Even it is now, because when some services are opened up, it should be also, even those that are opened up should be in a phased manner. Now, again, coming to the point, like, if you open up courier service and you don't allow non-essential, then what the courier is going to do?
Yeah.